There are too many
But I
people
mean, if
here.
you go to a shitty university,
Not here, but at university in general.
I'm going to be really blunt.
Keep it on, yeah.
I'm going to be honest, if you go to a really shitty university and you get yourself a half-rate degree and you go into the job market and there's
Yes,
someone applying
yes.
for the same job as you who went to a good university,
Mm.
who, even if with fewer credentials, they're more likely to get the job.
Yeah,
That's the sad reality of it.
Well,
that
yes,
this whole
it is.
expansion of the university system has not at all
It
helped.
is a problem.
It
We
doesn't-
don't
doesn't
do anything
anymore at all.
for
If you have a university degree, that you straight away it puts this guise and fake around that whatever university degree you get gets you into a good career.
Mm.
It's just and then
We're given this opportunity to go to university, and people who perhaps need not go to university in order to achieve the success that they aspire to. We're given this in a way a golden ticket to go to university, and it's sold to us as if it's an example of something that will set us up for life. But there are people going through the university process who are accumulating debt, who end up in a no better position as a result of it than had they have gone out and found themselves work or found themselves a work placement or studied a vocational qualification, and I think that's a problem.
The sad thing is most of the people who go to sort of lesser universities or do lesser courses tend to be from basically lower income backgrounds. I'm going to be really blunt and horrible about this, but that's kind of the way it is, basically. And these people then end up unemployed or in in a similar situation to where they started off, and they've been completely scammed by the system, being told that this will be their one ticket out of their rut. It's not. It's horrific. It's a really horrific system.
I would contest that. Most of the people I know from my school that have gone to like sort of shitty universities and they get pointless degrees aren't from like low income families. Like my friend, I've got a friend who lives on a council estate, and he got 4 A stars, goes to Cambridge, recently won Countdown with the highest score ever.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. He went to an older institution.
Yeah.
So increasing social mobility. You're not going to increase social mobility by creating a set of universities for the people who want social mobility. You're going to increase social mobility by enabling the people
call a bums on seats university.
You are going to increase social mobility by basically improving secondary education, by enabling people who deserve the best grades, who can get the best grades, to get those good grades and get into the good universities.
Yeah, I just disagree that.
And widening participation in the good universities, because what's happening is you're having different levels now of universities, as you're saying. So a lot of the metropolitan universities that came around towards the 80s and 90s.
Polytechnics, glass plate universities,
And there's a whole there's like a university class system now. And I think what needs to happen is that the secondary education, further education needs to be improved, and I think that universities have to be more open meritocratic system.
Well, that's true.
I think by having 150 universities
underpins it
in a country, by having 150 or 160 universities in one country, there has to be, there's always, if a group comes together, there's always going to be one who wants to be better, one who's going to be left behind. There's always going to be a class division. By 160 universities, it's ultimately going to end up like this. So
I think the money could have been better spent basically improving secondary education, improving primary education, because education is pretty much the only way of ensuring social mobility.
You improve these levels of education, the levels of compulsory education. Wonderful. But there will always be people who will go to university who perhaps need not go to university.
But you don't need to create.
Who can judge whether that person need not go to university?
Well, it's fair enough. If a person decides of their own free will.
If someone went to the worst university in the country and they came out with the most pointless degree in the country, who is to say that person need not have gone to university?
The problem is that the person may have been guided there in the first place, that the person may have been sent there without a clear idea as to what they would have wanted to do. A person may have been guided, may have gone into sixth form, and the push there is in sixth form to send everybody off to university, and someone who then decides that they choose not to go to university is immediately dismissed from a social group, say. And I think the problem lies not with, say, an individual who clearly understands and says, I would like to go to this university. It may not be the best university. It may not be the most sellable degree in a society which we live in, which is fixated with maths and sciences and medicine. If that individual chooses to do so, that's fine. My concern is not with that person, but with the people who are sent here through the push that has been, orchestrated in society to send people to university who perhaps don't have an idea as to what they want to do. And for that person, coming back to the value of the education, or whether the university qualification is value for money, you have someone who comes out of university still without an idea of what they want to do. And for that person, the university education that they have received, which is underpinned by the desire that schools and institutions of education have to send people to university, for them, that person, this is my main point, for that person, the degree is not really a great value for money if they come out of it and they still are not sure of what they want to do. I mean, if someone comes out of a poor university or a lesser institution and says, I'm fine with it, I'm happy with it, I did my best and I think it was worthwhile to myself. But people come out and who remain unemployed, who maybe take employment where a degree is not needed, for that person, the desire for social mobility is pass them by, really.
I think if you look at the how, for example, Britain's GDP is produced, a small margin of this comes from production or from mechanics. Or from,
we are a service industry country.
Yes. And it's only the biggest, let's say 80% or something of the GDP comes from services, which are businesses, which are offices, which is this kind of work. Which demand a university degree. So maybe it does make sense.
It's a societal attitude.
Yes, so
a lot of these jobs don't need degrees to.
Then it's not up to the university level to say we cut these lesser universities. It's about building up a demand for more plumbers, for more handworking jobs. Yes. And so it has to start there, and then the university system.
I think it is a societal problem.
Yes. So it's not the problem. I think these lower league tables universities are just come up because these lesser universities are needed as well.
Yes, they are, and they're perfectly valid. A person can go there and they can get a degree. And they can work as hard, work of the same quality as someone who goes to a Russell Group university, one of the Golden Triangle of universities, and they will do just as well for themselves. So,
but it's not an
argument regarding the quality of the institution. It's an argument
it's regarding
the person's desire to achieve through getting a degree, and it is. The problem with social mobility is that people are being sent through university, and the value of the degree is not really something that.
If there was a high demand for handworking jobs in this country,
we have
we have no.
You can't create a need for plumbers, because what that requires is people to have leaky pipes. If everyone has a leaky pipe, then there is a greater need for plumbers. We have loads of plumbers in this country. We have a mass of skill of tradespeople. But what I'm reliably informed by many people in the trades is that there is a lack of skill, competence, experience.
That's true.
What's happening is that just as colleges are being judged and assessed on how many people they're sending to universities and where they're sending them, and I agree that there is too much of a pressure on colleges as an institution in itself, as just being a platform or a springboard to university. I don't think it should just be that. There is also
that's true.
And now a massive and similar thing happening to secondary schools to send pupils who aren't going to sixth form colleges automatically by default to a technical college. And so they're going, and a similar thing is happening, as happens sometimes in the degree systems, that people are going to a technical college, studying a trade, and coming out of it qualified to do it, not Corgi registered or anything like that, but it doesn't mean that they, that's what they want to do in society.